Welcome to Factorio Recap. My name is Nilau. So this is the recap of the true Megabase that I'm running over on Twitch, and it's on Twitch TV /Nilaus, and it's on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. That's where I'm streaming it. So 12 hours a week, and what I do here is I summarize those 12 hours into about 20 minutes of summary of what I've been doing, where we are, and just sort of catch you up in case you missed the streams, or in case you don't really feel like watching all the streams, but you're interested in sort of the evolution of the base on a weekly basis. So let's go through it. Since we are currently rocking really slow, it's going to be mainly on a map view that we're going to look at things. First of all, let me just address why are all the colors there? So you don't have to ask in the comment section, and I don't have to type it out 17 times, so we'll just go through it. This is the Twitch interaction. Every time I have a Let's Play over on Twitch, I have some kind of interaction, so that when people subscribe or donate, or in this case Hype Trains, there will be some interaction in the game. And since I'm going to make a Megabase that is completely vanilla, then I don't want something that impacts the way that I'm like productivity or anything like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating these blocks of color that are represented by whoever is winning a hype chain. So the size of it is, it's 2x2, it's a 3x3, it's a 5x5, depending on, no, it's a 4x4, I think. That's a 3x3, depending on the level of the hype train. So level 1 hype train becomes a 1 square, level 2 hype train becomes a 2x2 square, and so on and so forth. And there is a leaderboard for anyone who is interested in sort of catching up on who has won the most hype trains. So with that out of the way, we can go. And I'm really blown away by the support. That's really overwhelming. So where we are, let's look at, this is where we ended the previous week, and we ended it by making sure that we had robots. So robots are now a thing, actually only construction bots, not logistics bots. And that's basically where we are starting. So we're starting to work on batteries, and well, yeah, batteries is kind of is a necessity for robots, but it's also a necessity for where art thou? Where art thou? Thou art here. That is for our solar panels, because power is, it's still okay. It's very okay at this point. But what I'm doing is, let me just go here. I'm starting to put down some solar panels. I'm going to fill in this area with solar panels before we get to nuclear. Because I'm not rushing nuclear here, and I know that when I start throwing in beacons, then very fast it goes wrong. So at this point, what we started working on is this design. This is the train design, and that's going to be the focus first, because our starter mining operation here is running out and just not providing enough to sort of keep us going. This base is deliberately, intentionally, exclusively on yellow belts. The reason why I do that is now I built the whole base with yellow belts because I don't bother replacing it. I will, when I have the robots, I'll simply drag over everything and upgrade everything to red belts at some point when I feel I have enough. And to facilitate that, I have now stockpiled 6,000 red belts and also 2,000 undergrounds. So it should be, I thought I would be good to go, but alas, that's not the case. Let's just look at this one. This is looking a bit weird, and we redesigned it here. It basically, they come in here from the south, go in, and there's 4 stackers here. They go in here, and they can actually be a train parked at this location. So we have here, and we are unloading it onto 8 full belts. It can't really unload to 8 full belts as long as you're only using blue inserters, but when they get upgraded to red to green inserters, it's just going to be fine. Let's have a look at what happens at the next stream, where we start using the robots to actually, I think we start upgrading to red belts, as well as start expanding our train network. The idea is that the materials down here will be brought in on either side: iron, 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 and uranium. And here will be stone, copper, copper, and coal. Those are the inputs. I will not bring things from the north, because north is where I'm going to build my my Megabase later on. So this is the situation now. As you can see, there's lots and lots of blinking, and there's a lot of things going on here. So I've really started the classic robot abuse that I am so known for. Robots, about 1,000 construction, 1,000 logistics, and of course that's also taking up some power. I have expanded with 1 additional solar panel. It's not much, and it's actually kind of problematic. I have not actually expanded any kind of tech. You can see here we're still at the same tech level. For the next stream, this has been, we have still robots being made, blue signs being made, and batteries. That's the latest tech we have, but nothing beyond that. what I have done instead is I've been focusing on scaling of this and trying to make some good designs out here for these inputs. So what I have now is a very advanced thing here. Let me see. Okay, I can go through that because I think that's super important. I'm going to go explain how it works or what it does, not exactly with each of the wires. Basically, the purpose is I want to control what the limit of the number of trains is for this one, so that I have several different copper locations. Well, when we have several different copper locations, but over here for the 3 iron, because I don't want, if I have 6 trains, and I do have 6 trains feeding these ones, then I don't want all of them to go in here and then park 1 here, 1 there, and then 4 in here, and the other ones are starved. So what I want to do is make sure that as I fill up the boxes, I decrease the number of trains being requested. This one is actually decreased until 0, and this is decreased until 1 and 1. So we actually have something inbound. You can see here, there's a train coming in, and it's going up to this one. So as soon as the demand, why am I doing that? Sorry. As soon as the demand here allows an extra train to come in, then it will adjust the limit to 1, and then a train will of course immediately be assigned if there is one available. So that's a way we use circuit networks to redirect between a many-to-many network with the limit trains set up. So the way it works is that I basically say, I summarize whatever I have in the boxes. You can see here, this is the 64,000. And then I have some parameters inserted. This one contains my input parameters. Basically, it says the M equal is the 72,000. That means the M is the maximum, hence the M. M is the maximum amount I want in a station, 72,000. That is the absolute maximum in all the boxes is 76,800. So I put it a certain amount lower, so I make sure that even if it unloads a bit slightly unevenly, it will be able to unload the train fully. The other one is 8,000. That signifies how much is in a train, because if you transport ore, if you transport plates, or if you transport circuits, there will be a different amount. So that is important. And the 6 when it comes to trains is the absolute maximum number of trains I want in here. Because if you say 72,000 and there can be 8 in here, that means it could actually come in to actually request 9 trains, and that would be more than the stacker can contain, and then it would start filling up. So that is no good. So I need to make sure that it does not overfill the stacker no matter what. So the way it does is it takes the input and it finds out. Gee, I wonder what it actually finds out. Finds out how many trains are actually going in. Yeah, how many trains are going in, and that will be compared. Basically, it'll say, okay, how many trains can be... Oh, no, here it says the difference. The X is the difference between the maximum and how much is in there. So it'll then take, when this goes to 8,000, compare this. This is what's being done here. It compares to the 8,000, and it then sees how many actual full trains could be loaded, and that full trains is the number of limit that I'll set here, except I'll also compare it to the maximum, so that if it goes above 6, it'll just hard cap it at 6, and then it combines in here, takes the input, puts it out here, and then I have these indicators lighting up 1 to 6 on signifying how many trains the limit is currently at. So that if I'm in a position where I'm consuming faster than I'm bringing in, then I can just go in and go like, oh, okay, this one can request a 3, this one can request 2, this can request 1. All right, I have serious problems without my supply. Should never be the problem, because I need to make sure I'm ahead of this, but you know, it could happen. Could happen as we scale up the base. And the idea here is I'm going to do just a 2-line system. There is no real need for a more lane system. I think I'm actually going to try to use 2-lane systems more. I don't think the 4-lane systems really make a lot of sense. They make a bit of sense in my reverse Megabase, but not really here. So this has been a lot of work on reiterating, redeciding this. There was a lot of belts that needed to be removed and moved over here to other places, so that it now comes in and it's really nice and crispy going in here. Of course, not all of it is hooked up, but that's okay because I'm not actually demanding it, everything. But steel's coming in. So that is the situation at the end of the second stream, and I'll just jump forward to the next stream now that we are done with the train design. I'll need to also get to the other side, but that should be faster. We can start checking again. And here we are. We are now further into this. This is on the Thursday stream for last week, and we have expanded our solar panels quite a bit. On the outside of the train lines, we have all the train lines here, all the train stations set up. And we've also started to get in the uranium. Uranium has gotten a special bonus train station here with just a single train going back and forth. So the train will go here. Yeah, I know, it sucks. And we are, our patented Nodder wall is not really holding back the biters sufficiently well. But the key point here, all the train stations are built. They are working really well. There's iron, copper. We haven't hooked up the coal or the stone yet, but we will do that as well. And we have our here. Our uranium is coming in. Are we processing uranium? We're starting to process uranium. The idea of having this many is that if you look at this, if I have all of them, there's 30 machines. But if it was 35 machines or 32 machines as scheduled, you would see that it would consume a full belt. So this is consuming a full belt. That means as long as I can get a full belt. I mean, I know I'm getting it on 2 belts, but it actually just, if this one can consume a full belt, that I'm really happy. And I'm doing this right now so I can start stacking up this one to get the Covarex and also get the nuclear power. So this is just easily done. What we're doing with robots, let's fire those up. We are doing, oh yeah, that's the landfill. We're starting to landfill out this area. I want to make sure that we landfill this area. I will eventually have trains because my plan is when it comes to megabasing, I'll have loading station here or sort of a building train or several building trains right here. And they will then go up here and go out into our building location. That's going to be really interesting to build because I really want to make sure that we build some good train stations there. So that means we need to landfill this. I want eventually to have the nuclear out here, but unfortunately I'm going to have to make some compromises because at this point, and I think that becomes obvious, plastic is not really keeping up. And as soon as I start going further up in science, then I'm going to be using rocket fuel and I'm going to use much more red circuits, and that's just not cutting it. So let's look at the base. This is where we're seeing that we've run out of all of this and we're not getting enough oil. So I really need to, I've started putting in modules here as I research beacons in a while. Then the power increase here will spike, and I really need to get the nuclear soon afterwards. Let's look at the base. So we got a bit of uranium processing moving further up. We can see that we now have the yellow science hooked up, and that means in order for the yellow science to work, we will have our blue circuits here, and all of these builds are masterclass builds, so they should be very familiar to you. Here we have our low density structure that's also working. It's built this size because then it can support both the yellow science and the rocket launchers. And it goes neatly in here. This has been expanded, and I'm putting some modules in these. I don't actually know why I put modules to this. I don't know. It's just a good idea, I suppose. So we're putting it in here, and yeah, you can see that we've started to move further ahead, and we are researching a number of things. We researched the very first, most important things, such as we now have a power armor Mark II that took quite a bite to that. This is always how I do it. 2 fusion reactors, 5 legs, 4 roboports, some night vision glasses. I'm using the mod to get perfect night vision glasses so it looks better for you, the viewers, and then some build immunity and some batteries. That's as good as I could do it. I've been very happy with this layout. And that's basically where we are on this one. We're working on the yellow science. There we go. That was another yellow science done. And what we are missing is the purple science and the rocket launch. So let's see how far we get to that in the next episode. We've also basically done all of the inbounds here. We are still missing coal and stone, but having enough iron and enough copper coming in is great. Although I must say that I need to make sure that these are being consumed first, so I get rid of it. This is not being consumed first, not very well at least, so maybe that should be changed. Let's go out here and take a look at the next and the last update of the week. And here we are. We actually have the last update. You are now fully updated, and let's start with the tech-wise. You can see over on this side we have the rocket fuel and the the rocket control units being created, and they are going into the first rocket launch. The number of rockets is no longer displayed, and it's an absolutely horrible change that we can no longer see how many rockets we launched. But the answer is 1. we've just managed to launch a rocket just seconds before ending the stream. That was my promise. I wanted to make sure that we launched a rocket. And what you can also see is that our base is now so well designed that you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 city blocks is all it takes on either side. 8 city blocks of building, and it has room to scale more greens, more reds, more blues for that matter, but I don't think I can support it. And that will be basically, yeah, that'll basically be a pretty neat build. What we are going to work from here, oh right, also what we have to do, because lots and lots of improvements here. I have built all this, lots of modules that increases our power consumption. We're now at 300, well, let's call it 400 on the consumption side. And in order to support that, I put this one down. This is my small nuclear power plant. Very convenient, very simple, very scalable. And I just bring some stuff in here. So the issue, or the point is, I had to build it here because I just didn't have enough landfill to fill out this one yet. But we are slowly starting on this one, and as you can probably see, as soon as I do this part, then we'll be moving it further. And I'm going to move it further up this way as well as I can. So that's so I can build a big nuclear power plant. I'm going to use the 8 reactor city block size for this part, and I might do something later on that's bigger. But let's see about it. For now, that's going to be fueling the first stages of the Megabase. So where do we go from here? This is the starter base. What I'm going to do is, right now the science is working at a very measly 90 science per minute, and that's not really enough. So I'm going to keep scaling up. We need to clean out these resources so we can double up our copper. First, I'm going to get all of these running as much as I can. And what we then need to do is really scale up on our circuits. Green circuits, red circuits, blue circuits, those are the ones we really need, because this is where we need to focus. We need to sort of, first of all, we need the base to operate better. We'll also transition into blue belts, and at quite a lot of places, basically all over the place, we'll switch to blue belts when we can. We have, I don't think we have it, we might just have researched it. So this one has to go blue, and then we'll start making an output train here, start looking at the builder train, and start doing some designs for the future Megabase while we are going to do this. And this means that now we start looking at, okay, probably going out here and start designing things in terms of it. Also, we have a little Spidertron that is super useful at cleaning out spiders. At this point, we don't really need a wall anymore because we have the Spidertron taking care of it, just walking circles around. As we increase the base, our pollution cloud expands, and the Spidertron here, yes, that's called a Spidertron, we'll just go out here and clean out whatever is there. Just to stand in the middle. It's pretty insane standing in the middle, isn't it? Yeah, it actually is. It's pretty stupid because they still send out robots while they are being attacked. So that's kind of uncool. Doesn't matter. It'll just come back and get some new robots. Everything will be fine. Wow, I lost 17 robots. That sucks. But then at least now the logistics things work. So when you go back here, it just replenishes. As you can see, the base is expanding, becoming a nice Harlequin base here as we are. Going forward, we're going to transition to nuclear power. I'm not going to fill the map with solar panels. That's definitely not my intention. Oh yeah, by the way, we've also tapped the stone and the coal, so we need that. We have that available as well. So from here, scaling up to blue belts, making sure this base is going from about 90 science per minute to about 250 science per minute. And when it gets to 250 science per minute, that's just what it's going to perform, and I'm going to be happy about it. This is not going to be, this is basically means that we can unlock all the science. We can just slowly get a bit more mining productivity, a bit more robot speed, maybe some artillery, but I don't really think I want to go down that road. And then we basically scale up and do modules, and start working on designs for future layouts. Currently, I'm thinking something along the lines of 60 wagons for a train of science. That's kind of my thought, but I'm going to need to do some calculations to get a sense of whether 60 lines is the right 60 lanes is the right number. We're going to do some math on this. So that is going to be where we are. I hope you'll find it interesting, this little starter base. I've done a very much work in order to make this a robust, structured way, so that you can see that with a bus base, with this train system, with the masterclass builds, you can just make a base super easy. And you're welcome to copy all of this into your own base And yeah, so I hope you want to join for the streams. They are over on Twitch TV/Nilaus, and they are at Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. And the other days I'm probably streaming Dyson Sphere program, so check that out as well. I hope you are enjoying this recap, and if you have any ideas or stuff like that, just leave them in the comments below, or join the live stream so we can talk about it in real time. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay effective.